Well, being released next month is an all-star tribute to Triumph, Magic Power. And I'm so excited to be joined today by Gil Moore from Triumph. Gil, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, hi, Stacy. It's great to be here.
Well, let's talk about this album. It's amazing. There are some really incredible people who are singing the songs of Triumph. Did you have involvement with who was going to be singing and which song? Or was this kind of all done and then said, Here, Gil, I hope you enjoy?
More like that. I mean, Mike Klink, the producer extraordinaire that actually was the captain of the ship here, put the album together. He connected all the musicians and so on. He did ask us, what do you think of this idea? What do you think of that? And he played us, rough mixes. But of course, all the people that he selected, they were all great musicians, like top players and top singers, and famous in their own right. So, it was like it's very what's not to like? It was just great actually. The fact that these all these folks would jump in and play the songs and do this was just an amazingly humbling experience really for us and as Triumph.
Well, some of the names that we have performing, there's Nancy Wilson, Sebastian Bach, Phil X, Mickey Thomas, the list just goes on. So, and Dee Snider, he's come out and he's just talked about how so excited he was to play on this album. So you've had a chance to listen to some of these songs. I'm guessing by now, did they do it justice?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's a blend of, in some cases, a really original take, like you mentioned, Nancy Wilson, like the way she did Fight the Good Fight. I mean, she really made it her own song in a beautiful way with her, kind of her floating style of her singing, which I love. And, when Dee, for example, or Sebastian singing, Rock and Roll Machine or Lay It on the Line, the two they did. Dee did a very aggressive vocal and a great vocal on Lay It on the Line, and Sebastian just killed Rock and Roll Machine. But I could go on. I mean, Dean Castronovo of Journey. I mean, I don't know that there's no singing drummer on the planet Earth that is as talented as Dean Castronovo. And Never Surrender was his song. It's very, very difficult to sing. That's one of Rick's vocals and one of the very, very high ones. It's very, very hard for anyone to sing that. Lawrence Gowan did a beautiful job on Somebody's Out There, for example, and another one of Rick's vocals. So just all the way down the line, it's been one big surprise after another, to be honest, for us in Triumph. Just really amazing.
Now, you guys have been around for a long time, and a lot of the people who played on the album said that they were influenced by your music. What does that mean to you to hear that to some of these guys that are still out and still performing as well as yourselves? What does that mean? As starting the band, I guess about 50 years ago, and getting to where you are now. How do you feel about hearing that?
It's amazing. I mean, it's hard for me to imagine, to be honest, because I'm still relating back to being a kid that wanted to get a set of drums and mowing grass and stuff to save up the money and then hanging around other bands and following them to try to learn. So you think back in your own life, you go to the influences, and when I, realized how great John Bonham was, or Ian Pace and Deep Purple, these kinds of players, Mitch Mitchell and Jimi Hendrix Experience, or the great Buddy Rich, the greatest of all time. That's when I think of influences. When I think of somebody being influenced by us, it's like, well, how's that possible? Because I'm still looking up to these guys. So it's amazing to hear that we if we had an influence on some of the musicians that are on the album, it's a wonderful thing, but it's not something we would have ever expected.
A lot of people talk about how music has memories for them and they attach certain points in their life to it. And I'm guessing your fans tell you that all the time too. Just they've heard this song, or this was our song, or, this brings me back to a great time in my life. It must feel so good that you've been a part of people's lives for so long and have been able to create those happy times or get them through the tough times with some of your music.
Yeah, we were getting more and more of the stories, every day. It never stops, and a lot of it is about the tough times. I mean, I think that's when the therapeutic value of music really, is in a special place in people's lives. And you see so many people, and I've met so many people that have had a really tough go with a medical condition or a death in the family or some tragedy. And a lot of times, there's a tattoo with one of our lyrics, and it really kind of proof positive how impactful the song was, or the lyric within the song was. It makes you realize, when you're starting out as a rock and roll band, you're young guys and you're all out there just to, try to gain an audience, and you really can't think forward decades into thinking about influencing people's lives in any way or whatever. You're just trying to gain an audience and be accepted. So it's pretty it's a heavy thing actually to get to this stage and think that the music perhaps had more weight to it, than more value to it, than we would have ascribed to it as young guys playing rock and roll.
Would there be any plans, Gil, to do a concert of some sort, or maybe, record a television special with some of the people who did the tribute, and or tour a few cities? Is that something that's been discussed, or are you just going to let the album come out and enjoy?
We've been working with our lighting director, Paul Dexter, who is really, really a genius in lighting. And we've been looking at Paul was instrumental in the development of holographic technology and so on, and he was one of the prime sort of experimenting in that areas was one of his fortes, I'll say. And so we've worked on a mixed reality concept that we haven't fully deployed yet, but it's in the back room. We're working on it. And the idea would be something that's completely different than any of the hologram stuff that's been done before, completely different than, say, what ABBA has in London. This would be a touring entity, and it would be the first six-piece power trio. So we would have, three guys that are really, really at the top of the game playing the instruments, but we would have the original band members virtually within the show. So it's not something I could promise. I can promise we're working on it, and we're very excited about it, and we're going to continue because it is experimental. It's hard to say, no wine before it's time, but we're hoping later this year, perhaps, or perhaps in 2026 as part of a 50th anniversary.
Well, Gil, that is exciting and something for us to look forward to. And of course, the album, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today. And once again, the tribute album to Triumph Magic Power coming out here. I believe it's the 6th of June. And it's just, again, so many musicians on here that are paying tribute to the amazing songs of Triumph. And I know you're a busy guy, but I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today, and really look forward to everybody getting to hear this album.
Thanks so much, Stacy. It's been great talking to you.